structural formID is a key component in symbolic reasoning. The packet bit layout and tiling location of these 4 bits allow us 16 possible symbolic representations that can mean any geometric shape for embedded logic. The default template for this includes the following geometric shapes. ID 0 represents the tetrahedron, the simplest solid, an indivisible concept, foundational axiom, or single point of origin. ID 1 represents the cube, or hexahedron. This can represent concepts that are structured, adjacent, or man-made. ID 2 represents the octahedron. This dual cube can represent connection points, hubs, or balanced relationships. ID 3 represents the icosahedron, which can mean monolithic concepts with many facets. ID 4 represents the dodecahedron, which can be a high-level container or specific domain of knowledge. The next tier is the first modifiers. These represent concepts that have been modified. ID 5 represents the truncated tetrahedron that can indicate defined interactions. ID 6 represents the cuboctahedron, which can mean a state of balance, a dynamic process, or structured and relational concepts. ID 7 represents the truncated icosahedron, or the buckyball. This 60-vertex object can mean a stable or efficient container for a subject-predicate relationship. The next tier can be used for encoding compound ideas, sentences, or complex events with multiple parts. ID 8 represents the rhombicuboctahedron, which can represent a mix of fundamental triangular and structured square data. ID 9 represents the icosahedron, which can be a high-level domain as pentagons with fundamental facets as triangles. ID 10 represents the truncated cuboctahedron, which can be a maximal information packet for complex event or system encoding. The next tier is the chiral qualifiers that have chirality, allowing perspective, causality, or bias encoding. ID 11 represents the snub cube, which can mean a structured concept as a cube with inherent direction, twist, or bias. ID 12 represents the snub dodecahedron, which can mean a high-level domain that has an inherent chiral quality. A possible ID 13 in the works is a cosmohedron. The cosmohedron encodes the combinatorics of the full wave function. Adding the cosmohedron opens up the pathway for multidimensional wave function collapse encoding, increasing the scope of our representations from numbers and objects to wave functions and Fourier transformations as well. These 13 core geometries are the default SHD-CCP structural formID template, leaving room for 3 more spots that can represent custom logic or custom geometries. Or you can reinvent your own, since the SHD-CCP packet is a universal symbolic language representation.